Hey everybody, welcome back to When Harry Met Board Games, where we feed our people with relatable content and our victory condition is your satisfaction. I'm Harry, and today I'll be playing through a game of Encore, designed by Inka and Markus Brand and published, at least in North America, by Stronghold Games. I forget what the original name is called, but again, in English, it is called Encore. And this is a abstract roll and write game, kind of like in the spirit of the very popular game Quicks, with a few more nuances and details that Quicks did not have. So players are rolling dice, and this game comes with just this pad, different pads. They're all identical, all the same. A couple markers and 6 dice. I'm going to be playing solo, and I only need 2 dice of each color, 2 of the white dice and 2 of the black dice. So basically our objective is to cover as many of these spaces as possible, and as you do so, you'll be unlocking different bonuses. For example, when you complete all of the same color, you score a certain bonus. If you're playing a multiplayer game, you score depending on whether you're first or second. If you're playing solo, you score the maximum amount just for completing a specific color. Also, if you complete an entire column, you will score the number that's on the bottom. And if we start from the center, you have the number 1. As we progress leftward and rightward, it incrementally increases from 2 to 3 and eventually 5 points. So you can unlock those points. Again, if you're playing a multiple player game, then it kind of becomes a race as to who does it first and or second. So we have those bonuses. Also, you have these stars, and these stars are spaces that you're prioritizing. You want to block off those stars, because for every star that you don't check off or you don't cross out, you're going to score a negative 2 points for each of those stars. So those stars can come back to haunt you. And finally, you have these exclamation marks here, and those represent every time you use a wild side of the die. Anytime you use the black X on a white die or the white question mark on a black die, that counts as you using a wild symbol. And basically you have 8 opportunities throughout the entire game to use those wilds. Well, for every wild that you manage to save up and not use, you're also going to score a bonus point at the end of the game. And when you play solo, it's one of those games where you're comparing your high score, but they also make this list to basically assess how good you are depending on what your final score is. Now, in a solo game, you basically play on you go through these letters on these columns: A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all the way to O. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 letters, so 15 rounds. And each of those rounds, you're going to get 2 turns, and you're going to mark off a turn by crossing one way, and then the second turn crossing the other way. So you're going to get 30 turns in a solo player game, and after those 30 turns, you see what your score is. Now, we're going to start the game. Again, with a solo game, you only roll 4 of these dice, and you got to choose 1 white die and 1 black die. And the white die basically determines the color you're going to use, and the black die determines how many boxes you can check off. So again, I actually rolled some wilds here. If I were to use one or the other or both, I would have to cross 1 or 2 of these exclamation marks off, right? And then I would have less wilds going forward. But I could choose this yellow with the 5, and I've got to find a spot that has at least 5 yellow boxes. I cannot leave some of these unused, or else I wouldn't even be able to use that die at all. So for your first turn, and your first turn only, you must start from within the center column, that red highlighted column with the H. You start somewhere there, and right here I have a yellow, and it happens to have 5 adjacent boxes, because all of the boxes that you're squaring off must be adjacent to one another. So I'm going to cross off these boxes, and there's a star there. Remember those dreaded stars? And I blocked off 5 of those spaces. Now, going forward, every subsequent turn, let me just cross here to indicate that I did 1 turn. Every subsequent turn, whenever I use a die to mark things off, it has to be adjacent to somewhere where I already am present, right? I can't just jump, spontaneously to the other side of the grid. I had to stay adjacent to where I already am. All right, so there you go. So that was turn number 1. Now we will roll these dice again and do turn number 2. All right, so I am going to, well, I got this. I want to save, I like to save my wilds, not only to score points, but also for future turns where I become desperate and I kind of need them. Because sometimes you end up locking yourself and putting yourself in a position where you actually have to skip a turn. And again, you only get 30 turns, so that really sucks. So I'm going to choose to take this pink X and this 3. So I could check off 3 pink boxes, but it must be adjacent to where I am. And luckily for me, I'm adjacent to these pink boxes right here. And now I get to choose where I start from, right? I need to start from either here or here. I have a few choices as long as I'm adjacent to it. And I'm going to choose to do this one here. Yeah. I'm going to choose 1, 2, and 3. Okay. And that's my second turn. Now we will move on to turn number 3. Here we go. All right. So again, I want to save these wilds for the future. I could do an orange 2 or a green 2. You know what? I'm actually going to use this wild. I am going to use this wild. I'm going to use that wild to make it a 3, actually, which I will mark off this exclamation mark to show that I've already used one of my 8 possible wilds. And instead, I'm going to make this green 3 so that I could check off these 3 green boxes. You know what? That's not worth it. I'm going to make it an orange 4. That's what I'm going to do. Orange 4. So I could check off these 4 orange boxes right there. Okay. And that was my third turn. Now we move on to the next one. Here we go. And this is pretty bad. 1s and 1s. So where can I benefit the most? So I'm going to take that pink 1, because at the end of the day, if I'm ever going to cross off this star here, it's going to be through a pink 1 anyways. So this is the best time to use it. Okay. There we go. That was turn number 4. Here we go. See, because I can never mark off a pink 1 if I rolled a pink 4, right? Again, you need to use all the numbers on the numbered die. So here's this wild, which I'm going to set aside. It's between pink 1 and pink 2. And I'm going to choose pink 2. Let me just cross this off for the 5th turn here. Pink 2, so I could cross these 2 pinks off right there. And I cannot get to this one, because although it's part of this section here, it's not adjacent to the ones that I'm crossing off right now. So it does get a little tricky in that sense. Okay, that was turn number 5. Here's turn number 6. And I've got yellow and orange, and I could do 3 and 5. 3 and 5. I'm going to choose to do orange 5. That's what I'm going to do. So here we go. I'm going to start from here to get that star out of the way. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And this is a box of 6. And even if you use a question mark, let's say a question mark here, you still can't pick for this to represent the number 6. At most, you could represent number 5, even if you are using a box or a section that has 6 boxes. That is irrelevant. So that becomes a challenge. Okay, so that is my 6th turn. Now we'll proceed to the next round. Roll these dice here. Ooh, again, I think I want to set this apart. I could do green 5 or green 3. And I think I'm going to do green 5 right here. I'm going to start right here. I'm adjacent. I could do 1, 2, get rid of that box, that star, I should say. 3, which direction do I want to go? I'm going to do 4, and I'm going to do 5 just so that I could reach these spaces that I might not reach otherwise. Yeah, I'm going to do 5 right here. Here we go. There we go. All right. All right. And that was turn number 7. Now let's go on over here. Yellow, pink, and 4 and 3. Yeah, I'm going to use that yellow and that 4 to mark off these 4 yellow boxes right here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's my 8th turn. So you don't want to divide yourself too much, because you do have these colored bonuses. and it's going to be impossible for you to get all of them or even several of them. You might be able to get like 2 of them. So you kind of want to concentrate on some colors to some extent too, so that you could unlock those bonuses. So let's see, I think I'm doing really good in orange and yellow so far. So those might be my preferences. I haven't done a single blue yet. I don't think I've rolled a blue. All right, again, yellow 3. Do I want to use yellow 3? You know what? I'm going to use my second wild right here. So I'm going to use that wild to make that a 5, yellow 5. I'm going to cross off this exclamation mark. That's my second wild. And I'm going to use 5 yellows. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 1. I definitely want to get rid of that star. That's 1. I'm going to do 2, 3. I'm going to do 4, and 5 right there. That's what I'm going to do. All right, and that was turn number 9. Okay, let's roll these dice again. All right, so we got pink and green. Still haven't rolled a blue. I might have to end up using a wild for the blue. So I got pink and green, and I got 5 and 3. And I think I'm going to take... I'm going to take the pink. I'm going to take the pink 5 so that I could do this right here. 1, 2, 3. Get rid of that star. 4 and 5. And that was turn number 10. All right, here we go. All right, so I do have the blue. Finally, I got some blue, and I got 5 and 3. I'm going to choose to do the 5, blue 5. And I'm going to choose over here because the outer limits of this grid give you more victory points if you complete the columns. As you can see, the 2 outermost columns give you 5 points. Everything in between just gives you 3 to 2, right? So those are very, very valuable spots to get towards. So I'm going to choose the blue, and I'm going to do 5. I'm going to do 1. I'm going to get rid of the star. That's 2. And I'm going to do 3, 4, and 5. And as you can see, I completed column letter E right here. So I circle this to indicate that I've gotten those 2 points. If it was a multiple player game, I would circle it first if I was the first player to get to it. And if I were the second player to get to it, I would circle the number below it, which is just 1 victory point. All other players would not score anything. Okay, so that was turn number 11. Let us roll. We got blue again and green and 4 and 3. I'm going to choose to use the green 4. And I'm going to choose this box of 4 greens right here. All right. And that's turn number 12. Here we go. Roll the dice here. So this was a yellow. Was this a yellow? You guys will correct me in the video. Could have sworn that was a yellow. Maybe I moved a die. Yellow 5 or this one here. I don't have any section that has yellow 5. I could use this wild. So it looks like I'm going to have to use a wild, perhaps even more than 1 wild. No, I want to save my wilds. I'm going to use this 1 wild, and I'm going to use the 5. And let's see, what do I need? I'm doing pretty good with green. So I'm going to use that wild to turn it into a 5 green. And this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And that's my 3rd wild. And I'm done with this turn. Now we move on to the next one. And I have to use a wild because both of the white dice are the black X. So whatever I'm going to do 3 of. So let me pick wisely. And since I'm already in the... I'm very close to finishing yellow, actually. So I'm going to choose that to be yellow. That will be my 4th wild. And I'll do 3 yellows. 1, 2, and 3. There we go. And we're almost to the halfway mark of this game. This is going to be my 15th turn. We got yellow 1 and yellow 4. So I am very close to completing yellow. And I definitely want to do that. But in the event that I don't, I'm going to prioritize. And I'm going to choose yellow 1. And I have 2 options. But I'm going to choose this one because it has the star. And again, the stars at the end of the game are going to give me -2 points. So with that. All right. So we're exactly halfway through this game. All right, so here we go. Okay, so I got blue and yellow 1. I'm actually going to choose... Oh, this is a tough one. This is a tough one. I'm going to choose the yellow one and save my wild. I'm going to save my wild, and I'm going to get this one right here. Right there. Okay. And that was turn number 16. Here we go. I still have 4 wilds left for the second half of the game, so I'm at a good pace. Ooh, I could take the yellow one, but then I would need another yellow one. So I think I'm going to be forced to use this wild right here and the 3. So where can I be benefited the most with wild and 3? I'm doing pretty good with green also. So I think I'm actually going to cross off these 3 greens right here. 1, 2, 3. And I used my 5th wild for that. And that was turn number 17. All right, here we go. Ooh, I got green 3 and yellow. Ooh, this is bad, guys. I do not have any spots on the board where I have yellow or green for 3 or less, which means, or 3 or more, which means I'm going to have to skip this turn. It still counts as one of my 30 turns, but I have done nothing on it. All right, here we go. All right, so I have some options now. Orange 4. I do have a spot with some 4 orange. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do 4 orange right here. Here's 1. That's the star. 2, 3, and 4. Okay, there we go. All right, we're getting to the nitty gritty here, guys. Let's see what my score will be. Ooh, I got blue and green, and I got 2, and I got a wild. Do I have a spot where? Yes, I have a spot for 2 green. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do the 2 green, and I'm gonna do that right here, and cross that off. Okay. Here we go. Pink 4. Do I have a spot? I do have a spot for pink 4. Do I want to use a wild? Do I want to use a wild? Is there anything else that's more valuable? I could do the blue 5 for whatever that's worth. No, I'm going to do the pink 4 right here. I want to save those wilds. 1, 2, 3, and 4. There we go. I'm running out of turns though, guys. I really want to get that yellow and that green, and I also want to complete some of these columns, right? So, okay, I got a yellow 3, unfortunately, but I could use my wild, and I will. I'm going to use that wild, that's my 6th wild, to turn that into a 2, and I'm going to do yellow 2 right here. And I've completed my yellow. I circle this here to indicate that I have that, that bonus right there. And now my aim is to complete green and hopefully a few more of these columns. Okay, blue 4. There is no other option. It's just blue 4. So where do I want to go with this? I think I'm going to go here, because here I could complete, I could complete 2 columns right here, and I will. I'm going to do 1. Definitely want to get rid of that star. 2, 3, and 4. And with that move, I've actually completed 2 columns in 1 shot. All right, here we go. Here we go. So yellow is irrelevant. I've got orange 3 or orange 2. And I'm going to choose to do orange 3 right here. Get rid of that star right there and right there. Okay, I've got 6 turns left, folks. I got to make the most out of it. Okay, so I've got a wild. I might want to consider using that. And I've got 5 and I've got 2. So there's no spot on the board for 5. So that 5 is irrelevant. Now, what would be the most optimal decision for me to use those 2 for? I could use those 2 for the pink right here. That would not be a bad idea. And that, I think that might be what I do. Pink 2. I think that is. I'm going to use that wild as a pink. This will be my 7th wild. I only have 1 left. And I'm going to get 2 pinks right here. And I unlock that bonus right there. Okay. I'm down to my 5 last turns. Yellow, which is irrelevant. I have got green 3 or green 1. And I'm absolutely going to choose green 1. I could get rid of this. That would save me 2 points. Or I could cross this off, which would get me 3 points, which is basically a profit of 1. So I'm going to do this one right here. And I unlock this bonus right there. Okay? And I'm down to 4 turns left. All right, and I got a wild. Wild 4 and wild 1. There's only 1 4 left, and that's that blue. I think I might just want to do that wild 1. It's going to be my last wild. I'm going to be dependent for my last 3 turns of not being able to use wilds. So that's what I'm going to go for. I'm going to use my last wild. I'll get rid of this star, which is awesome. That's 2 points it saves me. But that was also the last green, so I unlock those bonus points for green. And I'm down to my last 3 turns here. And how bad luck for me. Yellow, I cannot do nothing with yellow. I'm down to my last 2 turns here. I've got yellow, which is irrelevant. I cannot use this wild. And I'm also done with green. Oh my goodness, guys. That's the problem with not having any wilds. And then finally, my last turn of the game. This yellow is irrelevant. And I've got a pink 5, which again, I cannot do anything. So I went 3 turns without doing anything there, guys. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Now we will count our points. So first of all, you count your colored bonuses, which I got 2 for 5 apiece. That's 10 points. Then all the completed columns, I have 3, 6, 8, I have 10, and I have 12. Then your unused wilds, I have none. And any stars that you did not fill in, I did not fill in 1 star, so that's -2. So I have 10 plus 12 is 22, minus 2 is 20. I had a final score of 20. If you look on this chart right here, 17 to 20, that was probably not your first time. No, not at all, guys. I wish I could have done better. But that's pretty much it for the playthrough. This is how the game is played. Tell me, comment down below what you think about this game. Do you like roll and writes? Maybe you prefer your roll and writes more thematic, not so abstracted. I want to read what you guys have to say. Thank you so much for joining us here at When Harry Met Board Games. Take care, everybody. Stay safe, stay healthy, and have fun gaming. Bye-bye.